What if your deepest insecurities weren't weaknesses, but instead, hidden messages from your inner self, quietly guiding you toward growth and transformation? What if every doubt, every fear, every moment of uncertainty was actually a signpost, pointing you toward your greatest strength, waiting to be discovered? We spend so much of our lives running from the parts of ourselves we dislike, trying to escape the shadows that linger in our minds. We push away anger, sadness, and fear, believing that if we ignore them, they'll disappear. But these emotions are not our enemies, they are signals, asking to be understood. What if the very things we hide from the world, and even from ourselves, are actually the keys to a more authentic, peaceful life? What if embracing them could unlock a new sense of wholeness? The parts you label as dark or unacceptable aren't there to hurt you. They're there to teach you who you truly are, and to help you grow into your fullest self. From a young age we learn to present a perfect version of ourselves, carefully curating what we show to the world, hiding our flaws behind masks of confidence and control. But that perfection becomes a cage, trapping us in a cycle of self-judgment and fear of being truly seen. The hidden self, full of shame and vulnerability, isn't your enemy. It's a gateway to freedom, a doorway to the parts of you that long to be accepted and loved. Imagine a locked door in your mind behind which lies all you've suppressed: energy, creativity, passion, and even the dreams you once dared to have. Your shadow isn't a void to fear, it's a treasure chest of potential, waiting for you to open it and discover the gifts inside. True freedom comes from welcoming this part of you home, not banishing it. When you embrace your whole self, you create space for healing, connection, and genuine happiness. When you stop fighting yourself, you unlock energy to build the life you truly want, and you begin to move through the world with confidence and ease. Let's take a step toward that locked door, with curiosity and compassion, ready to explore what lies beyond, knowing that every part of you has value. The journey begins with a simple question: what are you hiding from? And what might you discover if you dared to look within? Carl Jung called this hidden part of us the shadow. It's not evil, it's simply the parts of ourselves we've disowned. From childhood, we pack away feelings that others disapprove of, carrying them like a heavy backpack. We create a public persona to fit in, but our shadow holds the messy, painful chapters we hide. By denying these parts, we tell ourselves we're unworthy of love. The shadow operates unconsciously, influencing our choices and relationships. Often what irritates us in others is a reflection of what we've denied in ourselves. Recognizing the shadow is the first step to wholeness. Denying it only gives it more power. The goal isn't to eliminate the shadow, but to bring it into the light. When you do, you reclaim your power and move toward becoming whole. Take Maya. On the outside, she was the picture of success, but her confidence was a mask. Inside, she battled self-doubt and imposter syndrome. The pressure to be perfect left her anxious and lonely, even among friends. Maya's shadow was born in childhood, where love was tied to achievement. She learned to hide her vulnerability and fear of failure, packing them away. Her strategy worked, until the weight became unbearable. Hiding her true feelings drained her spirit and made her success feel hollow. She feared that revealing her doubts would cost her respect. But her shadow wasn't her enemy. It was asking for balance and permission to be human. The key to her freedom was the courage to face her shadow. What if your own shadow is trying to set you free? Jung said, "What you resist, persists." The more we suppress our shadow, the stronger it becomes, like holding a beach ball underwater. Denying our shadow fragments us, creating anxiety and a sense of being an imposter. We keep people at a distance, afraid to show our real selves. Ironically, our vulnerability is what allows for true connection. Denial leads to projection. We see in others what we refuse to see in ourselves. We end up fighting our own reflection, creating chaos outside to avoid chaos within. The alternative is integration, not acting out every feeling, but acknowledging and listening to our shadow. Befriending the shadow is essential for psychological health and growth. When you integrate your shadow, you reclaim wasted energy. You become the conscious creator of your life. Integration is the path to wholeness. Embracing our difficult parts is ancient wisdom found in Buddhism's lotus flower metaphor. The lotus grows in mud, its beauty comes from the messiest places. The mud is our suffering, our shadow. We think happiness means escaping the mud, but Buddhist wisdom says we must sit with it. Our pain is the fertile ground for wisdom and compassion. No mud, no lotus, said Thich Nhat Hanh. We can't have joy without sorrow or compassion without pain. The spiritual journey isn't about avoiding messiness, but transforming it. When you feel guilt, envy, or not enoughness, see it as your mud, an invitation to grow. Instead of pushing it away, ask what it's here to teach you. Your challenges contain the seeds of awakening. You don't need to be perfect, just willing to grow in your own mud. Let's reframe the shadow, not as darkness but as unexplored potential. The parts of ourselves we hide or ignore aren't inherently negative, they're simply waiting for us to notice them. What if, instead of fearing our shadow, we saw it as a map to our hidden strengths and passions? Imagine a room full of treasures with the lights off. The shadow is that room. It's not empty or dangerous, but filled with forgotten gifts, waiting to be discovered. The darkness is only a lack of awareness, not a sign of something bad. Suppressed, its energy causes problems. Illuminated, it reveals gifts. When we ignore our shadow, it can show up as anxiety, frustration, or self-sabotage. But when we shine a light on it, we find talents, creativity, and drive we never knew we had. Anger, for example, signals a crossed boundary. Integrated, it becomes assertive action. Instead of lashing out or bottling it up, we can use anger as a signal to stand up for ourselves and communicate our needs clearly. The energy of the shadow is neutral. Our relationship with it makes it destructive or creative. It's like raw clay. What we shape from it depends on our willingness to engage with it honestly and compassionately. Jealousy, too, points to our own unmet desires. Use it as a guide, not a poison. When we feel envy, it's a clue about what we truly want, and an invitation to pursue our own dreams rather than resent others. Your shadow knows what you want, even when you forget. It holds the blueprint for your growth, whispering truths you might overlook in the rush of daily life. Befriending your shadow isn't unleashing a monster, it's reclaiming your power. It's about accepting every part of yourself, even the ones you once rejected, and realizing they have something valuable to offer. When you're no longer afraid of yourself, you become free and authentic. You move through the world with confidence, no longer weighed down by shame or fear of your own depths. Your shadow becomes a source of vitality and creativity. It fuels your passions, inspires your art, and gives you the courage to try new things. It's the raw material for growth. Every challenge or uncomfortable feeling is a seed for transformation, if you're willing to nurture it. Switch on the light and discover the treasures waiting for you. The more you explore your shadow, the more you realize it's not a place to fear, but a wellspring of your greatest strengths. How do you befriend your shadow? It's a question many of us avoid, yet it's the first step toward true self-understanding. The shadow is not just darkness. It's the hidden part of you that holds your fears, your pain, and also your untapped strengths. To begin this journey, you must approach with patience and gentle curiosity. Start with small, gentle steps. Imagine you're walking a new path, one you've never traveled before. First, reflect and identify. Set aside quiet moments to notice feelings you push away. Name them without judgment. Allow yourself to sit with discomfort, knowing it's only temporary. Write down what you feel or simply breathe and observe. Second, externalize and normalize. Speak your feelings as if they belong to a part of you, not your whole self. This helps you see emotions as visitors, not permanent residents. Say, "A part of me feels angry," or "A part of me is scared." This simple shift in language can be incredibly freeing. This creates space and makes emotions manageable. You're not overwhelmed, you're observing. Third, reconnect with self-acceptance. Offer yourself compassion even when it feels hard. Look in the mirror and say, "Even though you feel insecure, I accept you." Speak kindly to yourself, as you would to a dear friend who is struggling. This practice heals years of self-rejection. Over time, you'll notice your inner critic softening, replaced by understanding and care. Your shadow is not your enemy. It's a guide and a source of power. It holds the keys to your creativity, resilience, and authenticity. Integrating your shadow is the journey to authenticity and inner peace. Take the first step, no matter how small, and trust that each step brings you closer to wholeness. Turn toward your shadow with curiosity. Listen to its wisdom, and let it teach you about the parts of yourself you've forgotten or ignored. In its depths, you'll find not a monster, but a treasure. The gifts you uncover will help you grow and thrive. This is the freedom you've been searching for. Embracing your shadow is the path to living fully and authentically. The journey home begins now. Take that first step and welcome yourself back. And if this journey resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Inner Alchemy.